Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name's Carmen, and today we're going to do a reading for Gemini. Let's call in spirit with some wind chime time. So I kind of have a feeling we have something romantic going on here. Let's see. We're going to start with the Golden Lenormand. I hope you're doing well, Gemini. It's a beautiful day here. I hope it is where you are too. Alright, what do we have for Gemini? I don't know why, but I'm feeling nervous or like shaky, so I feel like somebody that I'm reading for is nervous to say something. Oops. We have the koi fish, one of my favorites. It's not always koi, that's how I see it though, but it's good luck. So Gemini, there's something good happening here. Then we have the path. I love that this is number 22 because that can often like advise you that things are going the way that they're supposed to, or that something's coming together. So it feels to me like there's going to be a choice here, Gemini, and one of these choices is the key to your happiness. Let's hope that's what the next one is. Worth noting that that's number 33. Interesting. Okay, so I don't normally take 5 Lenormand, I usually take 4, but these flipped over together, and I feel like that's on purpose. So we have perhaps a self-sufficient or independent male energy who has dealt with a lot of women that want him for his money, and it's left him feeling kind of uncomfortable making any real love offers, so I feel like he's instead invested in his career. But it feels like there's also something lingering, like an additional friend or family member that is kind of like taking advantage somehow. Let's see, we're going to use the gold foil tarot to get some additional information for you, Gemini. So there are people that are jealous of somebody's ability to invest wisely, whether that's, you know, Bitcoin, or somebody who has worked hard and built a good stream of revenue or multiple streams of revenue. There are people who feel like they are maybe living paycheck to paycheck, or that they should be doing as well as this masculine energy who is reaping what he sows. So he's like a big fish in a little pond, because you see we've got a couple of little fish swimming around, maybe trying to like eat the leftovers, or oh, what's that? You want to take somebody on a trip? Yeah, I'll go along. You're paying, right? So we have the Ace of Cups in the reverse and the Two of Cups sideways. Somebody's solution to dealing with toxic or jealous people is to be very, very cautious in terms of offering anything, whether it's friendship or something romantic. It's like there's a bodyguard that has like a little test that people have to pass in order to gain access, right? So we have the Nine of Wands in the reverse, indicating that the reason we have this like difficult to access energy is there's an unwillingness to go back into this karmic cycle of learning how to limit the toxicity in your life. Because if you let these people in, you go right back into that same situation, right? Where you're dealing with loss or not really sure who you can trust. Ten of Pentacles, loss. It's in reverse. And it's clarifying the mice. Oops, this Nine of Wands is in reverse. So somebody has already dealt with enough loss and doesn't want to invest in anything that would kind of predictably put this individual in the same position with regards to people who don't support their success, don't understand their success, or are envious of it. We have the Emperor in the reverse. Oops. Wow, okay. There's someone who has maybe over manipulated or gone a little too far with the boundaries because they're still kind of dealing with a betrayal from the past. This situation left the individual I'm reading for feeling rejected, or like the solution to avoiding this same kind of hurt going forward would be to make sure that we don't have any opportunities that result in somebody being able to hurt this person the same way. But the thing with the Five of Cups, of course, is that this person is so focused on the three cups that are spilled over that they're ignoring the 2 cups that are still there. So there's a sense that being stuck in the past has led to this individual not really being able to take advantage of some opportunities that were presented to them, or maybe are right now. So we have the Knight of Wands energy here, clarifying the 2 of Cups, which came out sideways. And this indicates to me that there's been some hot and cold, probably bi-directional, so both parties, whoever this is, or with multiple parties. But it feels to me like there have been false starts, or feeling like this is going to be like a good friend or a, you know, great romantic partner, and then there's a sudden end or a deal breaker presents itself, something happens. So it feels like there's just been a lot of rejection, or that's not for me kind of thing. We have the Eight of Swords clarifying the Nine of Swords, both of which are in the reverse. And I kind of like this because it feels to me that somebody has understood a little bit about what has caused the hot and cold energy here, the lack of commitment or the lack of longevity pertaining to friendships or relationships. And they're not just blaming everybody else, right? There's a willingness to accept there are things that I could have done better, and there are things that these other individuals could have done better, but the thing that I can do is change, like control the controllables, right? And if I do that, then I won't have to deal with the same kind of toxic energies that have hurt me in the past. Yeah, Seven of Swords. So with the Seven of Swords, we have that reiteration of thievery or people that are being sneaky. Ulterior motives, perhaps clout chasing. We have the King of Swords in the reverse. I wasn't going to take another card from this deck, but it feels to me that someone's been advised that their logic or practical perspective isn't necessarily shared by everyone, and therefore leveraging that particular part of your brain to assess whether or not something's a good investment isn't always the right course of action. There has to be a balance, right? When do I use my intuition? When do I use my noggin? We're going to get a little bit more clarity with the Egyptian Tarot. If this is resonating for you, go ahead and give me a like or a subscribe. What else do we have for Gemini? Wow. Emperor in the reverse, clarifying the Emperor in the reverse. I get that the controlling of somebody's time, money, energy, or whatever it is really just tied to the fact that there are so many people who are trying to hide information or their true motives from this individual. Like if you get a whiff of somebody not telling the truth or not being honest about what they want, what they're trying to accomplish, then it's like, okay, I think I know what to expect from you. I've already seen this, like in 8 different movies made with different actors. And we have the Seven of Wands in the reverse and the Eight of Swords. This is clarifying the Five of Cups and the Four of Cups. Somebody's feeling a little defenseless. There might be a little bit of like a fidgety restlessness, indecision pertaining to how you want to spend your time. With this Eight of Swords, I don't necessarily get that there are people that are continuing to blindfold this individual. It's more so that this person is kind of holding themselves back from doing the social things, the emotional connections, and trying to really limit the opportunities that anybody might have to like get close to them. But there's a warning here about losing valuable connections or the opportunity to build a valuable connection because of this hot and cold, I don't know if I really want to invest in you. This is hidden energy, so I'm going to put it back. So Spirit is saying, yeah, it's great that you have intuition and discernment and you have boundaries, but don't extend them to the point where you connect with no one and then you feel lonely, right? And now we have the Ace of Cups coming back out sideways with Death in the reverse. Changing or transformation is a good thing, but it's a work in progress. It's an ongoing journey. So sometimes we overcalibrate or it's like a pendulum, right? Sometimes we go a little bit too far, it's got to come back a little bit. So somebody has to, I think, work on their heart chakra and being willing to see the good in people and not always assume like the worst. For someone out there, I'm getting the sense that a lot of this trickery or thievery happened at planned events. So these are things that would have had marketing, flyers, social media, promotions. We have the Three of Pentacles coming out sideways, and this has limited who you're willing to collaborate with on a business front, right? So you may have had to let go of somebody that worked for you, or you had a cross-marketing situation. There has been an impact to who you're willing to literally work with. And this could have impacted the social circle as well, right? I love this card. It's one of my favorites in this deck. It's plural instead of a lot of the other ones out there that just call it the star. This is the stars. And this is telling me that when you balance this energy out and you find that happy medium between using, you know, your brains and using your intuition, and then also having those boundaries but letting some people in, you're going to have multiple streams of income that really help you in terms of being able to live comfortably, but also in a way where you're not dependent upon collaborations or relationships in the business sense that have a negative impact on your mental health. So we have the Two of Pentacles clarifying the Seven of Wands in the reverse. This defensiveness or defenselessness that you feel, could be both or either, is going to be like stabilized. There's going to be something that helps you feel more comfortable so you don't have to be kind of like on alert or trying to assess a situation all the time. Like, I'm literally picturing the dude from Burn Notice. I think his name is Mike Weston. And there's something admirable about somebody who can tell you after spending 5 minutes in a gas station what everyone was wearing and whether or not they were potentially like criminals, right? But there's also something really important about being in nature, being in comfortable settings, having those moments where you feel like your work has offered something to you that provides peace or comfort, and sharing that with people that you feel comfortable around, right? So we have the Three of Cups in the reverse, which is basically saying exactly what I just was. Like, once you have this stabilization, there's going to be some reunions, or some new friendships. But right now it's like there's a hold. There's like a reduction in the amount of time you want to be spending in these like gatherings or events, whatever they are. So we have the Queen of Wands coming out. It's clarifying the Death card in the reverse. One of the individuals that may have prevented your smooth transformation or transition, maturing, ascension, whatever you want to refer to it as, your growing up, your glow up, there's a feminine energy here who may be prone to using her feminine wiles in a negative way, who has prevented some I want to say has made it difficult for this individual to believe in like a happy home setting, or has made it difficult for this person to believe that they can create this with somebody, has made it even maybe like there was in the past or was recently, for some of you maybe even currently, a difficult home situation because of this feminine energy. This could be like a mom, a sister, an ex, something like that. This is somebody who does not use their intuition. Somebody who maybe talks over you. You have the Ten of Wands in the reverse. I like this because this is telling me that perhaps on the business side, you've been a little bit more adept at identifying which burdens to let go of. It might have been a little bit more black and white or red and black. And this has helped you kind of have like a practice round so that you can now kind of clean house in terms of the social connections you have, you know? You're either in progress doing this or you've already made some decent progress, right? For some of you, I feel like there's been some difficulty saying some of the things you had to say because the conflict was a little bit uncomfortable. But if you still went ahead and did that anyways, good work. I'm proud of you, and you have good karma for that. All right, we're going to finish this off for you with the Gypsy Oracle. Let's do it for Gemini. So for some of you, you may have dealt with people who were a little bit envious because they perceived themselves to be like a lower class than you, or they thought that you were kind of showing off. It feels like that's one of the first things that people would accuse whoever I'm reading for. You may have, like, wherever you live might be bigger than a lot of the friends that you hang out with, like wherever they, like maybe they have roommates and you don't, that kind of thing. But there's definitely an element of jealousy pertaining to your perceived success, what you have, and what people around you have. So we have despair coming out sideways, and I feel like this is to say that it may feel a little difficult dealing with some of these individuals, but the fact that you're investing in the right things or working to change that is going to make this less and less painful for you and more uncomfortable for those who lose you, right? Then we have service. There may have been somebody who you had business dealings with that contributed to the discomfort or the stress in your home life. So somebody who, you know, would come around whenever they want, or somebody who overstayed their welcome, things like that. We have the Lover in the reverse. So for some of you, this could be like an ex that didn't move out when you asked them to. And then for our last three cards, I thought there were only two. For our last couple of cards here, we have Old Woman, Cheerfulness, and Hope. So for many of you, I feel there's a positive feminine energy in your life. This could be a grandmother, a mother, an aunt, a sister that's older than you, something along those lines. They are going to help you remember why you should be happy about what's going on or what you have ahead of you. It feels to me like maybe this individual has gone through something very similar to you and they know how that path like ends, right? So if this person's giving you advice, I encourage you to at least give it a listen. But it feels to me like this person kind of understands what you're going through and they'll provide you with some support that you'll find very comforting. So I hope you enjoyed the reading and that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks.